Throughout my life, I struggled with crippling social anxiety. It went back almost as far as I can remember, and it carried on all the way up into my early 30s when I started to overcome it. And throughout that whole time, I struggled so much with talking to people. I was actually just scared of people. I didn't know how to express myself. I felt very shut in, very repressed, and I just couldn't communicate at all. And this was really frustrating for me because I saw people around me having great relationships, being very funny, being very charismatic. And I always wanted to be like that. I felt like that was my personality really, but I was just trapped behind this wall of my fears. So what happened is at the age of 32, I started to really focus on overcoming my social anxiety. And I developed a really simple habit which made a massive difference to me and completely improved all of my communication across the board. It helped me to speak to anybody, whether I wanted to flirt sexually or whether it was in job interviews, wherever it was. This simple thing helped me massively, and that's what I want to share with you in this video today. But before we go any further, if you don't know who I am, my name's Ed Barton and I'm a social anxiety coach. And if you would like help working one-on-one on your social skills and your social anxiety, you can click the link below this video and schedule yourself a free roadmap call where we can figure out the best way to get you out of your social anxiety and your communication problems. So this little trick which I devised is called the +1 method, and it worked amazingly for me. I use it with all my clients. They see brilliant results from it. And it's called the +1 method because it means adding one little bit to each interaction that you have. And usually this would be like if you go into a grocery store and you have an opportunity to speak to the cashier. Now the first step here is to not use the self-service because that's an avoidance behavior. And if you want to get better at communicating, you need to try and seek out face-to-face communication as much as possible. So please don't use the easy option by using those self-service counters. So most people are not very social. They'll just grab their groceries and say, okay, thank you, and then just walk off. But when you're using the +1 method, what you need to do is to add one little bit to your interaction and keep adding bits to your interaction as you go on through the day and through the weeks and through the months that you're practicing this. So in your first interaction, you might just add, have a good day, right? So you grab your groceries and you're like, thank you, have a good day. And for me, even going to the personal checkout was a massive thing to begin with. So that was a huge challenge. And then even adding a little bit of, even though it's a simple sentence like have a good day, that was a big challenge for me. So I added that. Once you get comfortable with that, you want to start adding another piece to the interaction. So the next time you grab your groceries, you might be standing there with the cashier and you can just add something else like, God, it's such a hot day today, isn't it? Or is this rain ever going to stop? Something really simple, just throw anything out. And it does not matter because people sitting behind those desks in those cashier jobs, they are bored. And as humans, we just respond to like little bits of fluff, throwaway comments in conversation. They're used to it. For you, it will feel like a big deal, but for them, it's nothing. People don't care. Just say anything. So you can make a comment about the weather. Then you grab your groceries, have a good day, and then you're out. And you might feel the adrenaline pumping after this. For me, I really did. I would get like a huge euphoric high and a huge adrenaline buzz from doing this. But as you go on, it gets less intense and you can just start adding bits to the interaction. And then eventually you get to the point, which is the level of social freedom you often see with old people who basically give 0 Fs. And they're just chatting away about absolutely anything that comes into their head. And they'll be standing there talking for 5 minutes with the cashier. But you just want to get to that point by progressively adding one little bit to the interaction each time. So an example from my own life, I used to get my groceries from a supermarket called Lidl in the UK. And I was standing there with the cashier waiting for her to put my groceries through. And I just said to her, wow, you guys work really hard here. And she was like, yeah. I said, how long is your shift today? And she was like, I'm doing 10 hours. And that kind of thing, people, it's an instant hook because you're showing some interest in them. She knows her job is hard. You're recognizing that her job is hard. It makes her feel seen and appreciated. And she's never going to hold back complaining about her job, which she finds really difficult. So it just opened up this conversation. And then before you know it, you might be adding 2, 3, 4, 5 different sentences and different chunks to these interactions. And once you get to that point, you're now just opening conversations and it just flows organically. And this works for improving your communication skills and your social skills across the board. And when I'm on coaching calls with clients and they talk about wanting to improve their dating skills, this is always where we start because you want to get better just having small talk with anybody, having small talk with the cashier in the supermarket or the gas station, having small talk with the old lady on the park bench. That's where you start, and it's a progression. You then start working up and talking to people that you might find more threatening, gradually more threatening, more intimidating, higher value people in your eyes, or authority figures, or people who are more attractive. And this is how you build up to approaching people that you're interested in sexually or romantically, and you want to start dating, or you want to open a conversation with them. You don't just suddenly go from being shut up in your room, not talking to anybody, to then going out onto the street and thinking, I need to go and approach somebody that I'm attracted to. I'm going to go up to this person. And this is something that I see with a lot of people on my calls. They say, oh, I tried to go out and I tried to do an approach in the street. I tried to go and talk to this girl that I found really attractive, but I couldn't do it. It was as if I couldn't move. And this is obvious, of course, because you're trying to go from 0 to 100. You've got to work through the gradual progressions, and you've got to baby step your way up there. So in order to do that, in order to be a better public speaker, to improve your dating life, to be better in job interviews, whatever your final goal is, begin with this +1 method. Just start off small and start adding things to your interactions with people in gas stations, supermarkets, banks, post offices, any face-to-face interaction you can have with a clerk. And that is going to massively help you. So please let me know how that goes for you. If you found this content useful, please subscribe to the channel so that we can help more people with social anxiety. And I'll see you guys in the next video.